Hello everyone, I'm Mike Levin, joined by our brand new sports producer, Ashleigh Tobin. We are going to do a full interview with Ashleigh coming soon to our social media channels, but today we're looking back on a truly spectacular year for sports coverage. Here at the Needham channel, of course.
So Mike, I've been watching a lot of our videos from the past year, getting myself up to date, but let's start with the most recent story, and that is Needham Rockets football. They finished a history-making season at Gillette Stadium in the Division I state championship against defending champ Xaverian. The Rockets had their chances but fell just short 14-7 in the second title game appearance in school history and first in 13 years. I was also there for the previous two games, a 20-13 win over Wellesley in the oldest public high school football rivalry in the country on Thanksgiving, as well as a 22-14 win over top seed St. John's Prep in the state semis. Those three games were exciting, but tell us about the rest of the season.
Yeah, the Rockets started off with a rare win over last year's D3 champ Milton. Then the next week they won at Natick for the first time in 10 years. At that point we knew something big was happening, but on October 4th, Needham went to their own personal house of horrors, looking to exercise a demon that would be winning at Walpole. The Timberwolves led at halftime, but then in the third quarter, Aiden Williams broke free with Needham's longest touchdown of the season, an 80-yarder, part of a 187-yard game for the future Lehigh Mountain Hawk. With a 21-10 victory, the Rockets did win at Walpole for the first time in 18 years. After a few more wins, Needham finished the regular season a perfect 8-0, then welcomed in Wachusett for the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I heard they set quite a few school records that night.
Well, Aiden scored 4 times in the first quarter alone. That's a Needham record for most touchdowns in any one quarter. And with 49 points in the first half, they set a school record for points in any half. And Aiden's 201 rushing yards was a team high this year. He finished with 24 TDs on the season, also a team high. The following week, Needham football finally knocked off a Catholic Conference team, beating Central Catholic 31-7. That was a close game until the fourth. With Needham up 10, they scored twice in less than a minute to put the game out of reach.
The Rockets had their best finish ever with a record of 12-1, and Aiden Williams being both the Bay State Conference MVP as well as the Massachusetts Gatorade Player of the Year. Head coach Doug Kopsko was named the Patriots High School Coach of the Year. So with all of that happening, you would think that would have been the highlight of the fall. However, Greta Hammer from girls cross country ended up with the biggest win this year for Needham as she finished first at the Division I All-State race, giving her the only state title for Needham this season. The team also won the title at the Division 1A championship race.
Also, girls volleyball returned to the state semis for the second straight year with a couple of exciting playoff wins we covered at the A-Gym, including a 5-set classic against Newton South and a quarterfinal victory over Winchester. That was the first half of a live playoff doubleheader with girls soccer, who won as well, sending them to the quarterfinals where they fell short in a shootout against Bishop Fian.
That's it for fall, so let's go back to the summer. Usually a dead zone for us, but this season Needham Legion Baseball finished their regular season a perfect 16-0, earning them the District 6 division title as well as a few home games in the postseason tournament. What was that like, Mike?
It was strange as we had just finished with spring playoffs, which you'll hear about in a minute. After July 4th, we usually record a game or two, but instead we found ourselves doing games almost into August. The first two playoff rounds at Memorial Park were interesting as Post 14 blew leads in both of them to Foxborough and Franklin before walking off with wins in each game. The scene then shifted to Quincy, where Needham won 2 more games to take the tourney title and secure a spot in the state tournament, where they lost their first 2 games, eliminating them in the double elimination format. Still, it was their first district title since 2000 and their first trip to states since 1996.
And Mike, you mentioned the spring season. The Rockets teams we covered kept us busy then as well. 2 teams in the state championships, and there was even a Saturday where 4 different teams played and won at home.
Yes, it was crazy. We were only able to cover 2 of them live as boys volleyball was playing first. I think that game started at 4. Softball was hosting at 7 over at the new McLeod Field. So with that kind of space, we decided to carry both of those games live. Then depending on what happened at volleyball, we would go from the A-Gym out to Memorial and get social media highlights of boys lacrosse and baseball. And that's what we did. And to no Needham fans' surprise, the Rockets won every game. But I have to mention the incredible 5th inning Needham softball had in their 9-2 win over Andover that day, because Maddie Baker, Sarah DeRoyan, and Morgan Kraft all hit home runs in that inning. Baker was closing out her Rockets career, during which she surpassed 100 hits before heading to play college ball at Bentley. But in their first season at the new McLeod, Needham softball truly shined.
At the end of the spring, 2 different Needham teams competed for state titles, boys lacrosse as well as boys volleyball, who were attempting to win their 4th straight.
Yeah, it's been a passing of the torch for volleyball the last few years. Needham's boys and girls teams had been dominant for a long time, but now Bay State Conference rival Newton North has taken it from them. The girls teams knocked out Needham in the state semis the last 2 years en route to winning the championship, and this past spring, it was the boys finally besting the mighty Rockets in a 5-set classic to snap the state title streak at 3 for Coach Dave Powell's team. Needham boys lacrosse was hoping to do the same to St. John's Prep, but the Eagles jumped out to a 9-3 lead in the first half and held off a Rocket rally to win their 4th straight title, 17-13.
In the new year, we'll be starting with winter sports. Girls and boys hockey and basketball all made the postseason last year, but all of them were eliminated early. What do you think we can expect heading into January?
Well, boys basketball probably lost the most to graduation, as the 2024 class led by Brian Clunan was special, but you can never count out Coach Paul Liner and his ability to reload. Both hockey teams are on the rise, so we're hoping for some exciting action on the Babson ice, but I think the one to watch is girls basketball. Callie McCarthy is a senior and hopefully recovered from her injury during soccer. Plus, with players like Hannah Levine, Annie Camosi, and Noah Brown all back, they will be difference makers. But the one player I'm very interested to see is junior Eva Andrews. She's been a defensive presence since her freshman year, but if she's developed on offense, it could be a huge winter for Coach Hannah Carroll's team.
You can watch all of our content on air, online at needhamchannel.org, and all over our social media channels.
Yeah, I actually want to thank everyone who made 2024 such a special year on our socials. The traffic on our Instagram, the Needham Channel, all one word, was incredible, but also our sports Facebook and Needham Channel YouTube channels. Even TNC_sports on Twitter. X was back with a vengeance. So I hope everyone continues to check those out, as well as our sports stories on our needhamlocal.org website.
Awesome. So for Mike Levin, I'm Ashleigh Tobin, and we'll see you with more sports in 2025.